Hey guys, Wayne here from H2TechVideos. Doing a quick video today on the pros and cons of the new Apple TV. We've had a couple of weeks to play around with it and really get our hands dirty. And we've got some cool things to share with you about what we liked and what we didn't like about it. So let's start with the pros here. And the first one's going to be the remote upgrade, which is massive, a massive change here. So just to show you right here, a little hard to see it, but the remote now does have a couple of new things. So if you had the original Apple TV, you weren't going to find volume buttons on it. You wouldn't have found a button for voice control or Siri, and you wouldn't have had a cool trackpad at the top here, which really allows for a lot of easier navigation. And another thing that you can't see but that is now built in is the gyroscope, which basically allows you to play games and all kind of fun stuff just using the remote control. So when you go to the App Store, by the way, another pro is that there is now an App Store where you can really pick and go through hundreds of great apps that are customized just for Apple TV. But in the App Store, there's a huge list of games. There's tons and tons of games you can search. I'm gonna come up here real quick and go to categories. And just to show you all the options you have now: games, education, entertainment, health and fitness, lifestyle, news, sports. A lot of the things you would count on from your cable provider is now available on Apple TV. So not only you're just about all the popular news stations, if we go down to there really quick, all the big guys are now present. Same thing with sports. If you're a big sports person, just about all the mainstream sports and apps are now available, including Watch ESPN, which is a lot of the content that is aired on their station. Even one of my favorite apps, which is the NBA app, which will give you highlights of every single game that's played. It'll show you the standings, it'll show you the schedules. It's really inclusive, and just to tie this in, because of Siri, you can have a lot more fun with the sports, because you can even ask it about what's going on with your favorite team. For example, when do the Lakers play again? And it'll show you the next game, Saturday at 7 p.m. Did the Lakers win? It'll show you the score of their last game. You can even ask it cool things like about the weather. What's the weather going to be like this week? And this is like a 10-day outlook right here. So, app support is totally on point. Tons of games with voice control now. You've got all these extra things that just, cut down on what you have to rely on with the remote. And then just with the gaming, there's basic games all the way to super advanced games. And another one of the pros is that you can actually link up a better controller. So obviously a lot of these games just work with the remote that it comes with. Like I tested out a couple of the racing games, and your remote basically just turns sideways and you just control it back and forth like that. But you can actually link up a real gaming controller via Bluetooth, and you can play the more advanced games. They even have like Guitar Hero, which is crazy. And this is like a really popular game, so it's not just dinky, stupid games, but like fun, serious games as well. So, aside from app support, or we didn't even, there's so much to go over, but you can even order food. There's actually a Grubhub app where you can order food right from your Apple TV. Even the learning apps, there's a Learn Piano app, there's math games. I mean, there's something on here for everybody, and I think this is going to be a great accessory just for families and households in general, because it now encompasses more than just being able to watch your movies purchased through iTunes. That's just a tiny portion of what you can do now. So another really cool thing is that I'd probably say this is the biggest step forward in terms of being able to get rid of your cable box. If you go back to the App Store really quick here, you'll see, sorry, I just tried to launch Siri. If I go back here, and so in this first section it says want to watch. And so you got all the big guys here, from Netflix, Hulu, to your HBO Go, Showtime, YouTube. These are serious networks that you would normally have to get when you pay for cable. But guess what? Watch Disney Channel. Now, some of these are a little tricky because you do have to have a subscription, and I don't think they've totally figured that part out yet. Of if I just wanted to have an Apple TV, how could I just pay for Disney Junior, for example? I think this one does ask for a password from your provider. So it's the biggest step forward. It's not 100% there yet, but a lot of the stations, like for example HBO Go, you can pay for their monthly subscription and just have that app. So the fact that a lot of those other networks are available is a great sign of what is coming in the future, which is maybe not having to pay for cable. Even down here, MTV, Comedy Central, Periscope, that's separate obviously. So just the fact that the TV network support is very strong is huge, and definitely super excited about that. To kind of wrap things up here, another really great pro is that there's a lot of cool new shortcuts that are built into the remote. Now if you hold down on the home button, you can actually auto launch to put it to sleep. Before you did have to, like on the old Apple TV, you had to go to general, go to sleep, and it was like a 3-step process, and now it's like just hold the home button and it launches that. I can hold on menu, for example, and I can have it auto launch the screensaver. There's a really cool live screensaver that it does come with now. Wait, where is it? Where is it? Usually just comes up. Hold on. It's coming. It's coming. Maybe it's hold down there. I gotta remember how to do that. I thought I had that down, but either way, like, you know, the remote does so much more, and a lot of the little quirks that the last Apple TV didn't have, Apple's definitely addressed those things and fixed it. So last thing is going to be, and this is not for everybody's TV, but I did notice it for mine. If I'm on a different source, for example, if I'm watching DirecTV and let's say I switch my inputs. Like right now, actually, I'm on the Fire Stick TV. If I hit a button on the remote, it will actually auto jump back to Apple TV. Now this is for certain smart TVs. Specifically, I have a Samsung, and they have something called AnyNet Plus, which I think it works through. So it won't work for every TV, but a lot of them will allow you to do that, and which is really cool. So you don't always have to grab your TV remote and switch to Apple TV. Just hitting a button, it'll take you right there. Let me jump to the cons here really quick. There's not that many, but there were a couple of things that I wasn't actually, before I'm going to get ahead of myself, the one last thing I wanted to show you was how advanced the voice search is. So you saw me search my favorite team and the Lakers and all that stuff. Well, what you can also do, which is probably the best, most useful feature of Apple TV, is literally tell it what you want to watch and it will find it for you if it's available. For example, Empire. So I can just say the name of my favorite show. It'll give me a quick rundown which one you're talking about. I hit the trackpad and then it'll take me here and it'll actually show me what it's available on. So on iTunes, I can go right there. I can buy the latest episode. I can watch it. I can go to Hulu and stream it if I have that Hulu subscription. Or I can go here, you know. So it's really great that, like, it's just so quick to just jump right to what you want to see. Maybe you want to see a movie, for example, or let me search a person. Kevin Hart. So I guess what? I can get every movie that Kevin Hart's been in, and let's say I want to watch Seriously Funny, for example. It's going to show me everywhere it's available. Netflix. I think I might have purchased that one, so that might be why it's there. But, you know, it's just, this search is really accurate. And it's what I noticed is it really didn't pick up what I was trying to say. Like, it's very intelligent. I didn't have to like enunciate super clear or say it super slow to make sure it picked it up. Like it's pretty quick. I can even say Christmas. Oh, let me hold the button. Christmas. And nice little list of Christmas movies and different options. And again, it's just, it will take you right to that movie and show you where you can watch it if you want to watch it. And, you know, like I have Hulu and Netflix, and usually it will find it on one of the two there, but if it can't, iTunes will have it and you can go ahead and rent it or buy it. So I really had to point that out because that was probably like my biggest shocker, is just how accurate the search was and how easy it was. Even one last thing, me and my wife love the show Blue Bloods, and so Blue Bloods. I put that in, and same thing. It pulled it up so quick. Netflix and Hulu. You know, so just really had to point that out. Oh, I didn't even know season 6 was up here. That's perfect. So anyway, guys, those are the pros. Quick cons right here. I was, you know, a little disappointed at first that it was $50 more than the original Apple TV. It does come in at $149.99. However, I would say that when you look at all the extra features you get with the remote, plus the fact that now they went back to built-in storage and you get like 32 gigs built in, I think it is worth the extra money. You know, it did suck to have to spend a little bit more, but I think in the end, like, it is justified paying the extra 50. So that's kind of what that is. I did find a couple of limitations within the voice search. For example, maybe the movie you're trying to search, or maybe you're trying to search something specific. Like if I'm in Netflix and I want to do a search in the search bar, or excuse me, this is not the best example. If I'm in the App Store and I want to search for a specific app or something specific, in this search up here, it won't allow you to just say what you want to search. That was the only gripe, and it's very small because technically you can just hold down on Siri and Siri should be able to find it, but I would have liked to have been able to had an extra voice search in here to be able to just say the app I'm trying to find, for example. So that was something that I was kind of like, you know, kind of looking for that, didn't see that, so that was a little bit of a con there. The next thing is I was surprised with all the apps that are on here, there is no web browser. Really would have loved to have been able to just search Safari and do like an extensive like web search. So that was kind of surprising. And then popular music apps, Pandora, Spotify, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, SoundCloud, all of these are not available on Apple TV right now. And I feel like it's because of Apple Music. So that does kind of suck. So, you know, that was a big miss for me. And I get it. I think the reason was that Apple wants to promote their music streaming service. And guess what? That could change, and those apps could pop up at a later date. But as of right now, none of those popular apps are on here, and a lot of people use those apps. And so that was a pretty big miss for me. I get how Apple can want to keep things, you know, in their favor to promote their apps. But man, like, none of those apps are on here. Like, to me, it wasn't a coincidence that all 5 of the top 5 popular music streaming apps are not available on here. To me, that was just like they were trying to do that. So all in all, guys, the question is pros and cons, worth it or waste, or worth it or wait. And I would say this is 100% worth it. I think that if you have the money to spend the $150 and you want something that gives you everything, probably the only thing, there's 2 things that this could have that would make it incredibly better, but I'm not complaining at all about it. If there was a USB port to be able to plug in and watch like your own content that you had on a flash drive or on a hard drive, that would be incredible, and that would put it on a level with PlayStation. Also, having some type of a DVD player, and again, it's a small box and a DVD player would not fit on there, but just for the sake of it, if this had a Blu-ray player built in, it would be a wrap. So obviously, for the reasons of it's smaller than a DVD, that wouldn't work, and obviously it's meant to be more of a streaming device. But in my opinion, if those 2 things were there, every household should have one of these and they would need nothing else. This would be the end all be all. So it's a great device, it's fast, it's really easy to use, it's just such a smooth interface, and I think Apple totally won and got it right with this Apple TV. So definitely think you should go out and get it. Remember, most retailers will give you 14 or 30 days to try it to see if you like it. I guarantee you buy this, you're not going to want to return it though. It is a pretty incredible device and one of my favorite gifts probably for holiday 2015. Guys, thanks for watching. Make sure you like, favorite, and share the video if you did find it helpful. Make sure you also subscribe to H2TechVideos and keep an eye out for more. We also have a great video on hidden features of Apple TV, so make sure you watch that too. And have a good one.